Warning. The following video will contain spoilers for every single one of these movies. Please take a moment to pause the screen and read off all the films that will be spoiled. If you do not wish for any of these films to be spoiled, then turn this video off right now. But if you've already seen all these films or don't care about them being spoiled, then by all means keep watching this video. Watch this video at your own risk. Enjoy. The attack is successfully called off, but Blake dies. The pulses that were threatening Earth are stopped. Roy finds his father, who admits he never cared about him or Roy's mom. Clifford commits suicide after his research indicates humans are the only intelligent life in the universe, and Roy returns to Earth and reconciles with his wife. Aladdin tricks Jafar into turning into a genie, trapping him in a lamp. Aladdin uses his third wish to free the genie. Aladdin and Jasmine end up together. Jasmine becomes Sultan, and the genie marries Dahlia. Alita kills Vector, Hugo dies trying to reach Zalem, and Alita, having become a motorball superstar, swears vengeance against Nova. The snap is undone, Thanos and his army are defeated, Iron Man and Black Widow die, and Captain America returns to the 1940s to be with Peggy. Lloyd reconciles with his father just before he dies. Jesse is successfully smuggled into Alaska and his future looks bright. It turns out the Skrulls are actually refugees just trying to find a new home, and it's the Kree that are the villains. Haley, her father, and Sugar survive. Danny dies protecting Abra, and the Overlook Hotel burns to the ground. Dumbo and his mother escape the circus and go live in the wild. Ted Bundy finally admits to Liz that he was indeed guilty of the murders. The family doesn't tell Nai about her terminal diagnosis, but 6 years later she's still alive, greatly outliving her initial prognosis. Ferrari loses the race early on, and Ken Miles gets cheated out of the Le Mans win on a technicality due to a publicity stunt. Then he dies in an automobile accident a few months later. Elsa becomes the protector of the Enchanted Forest, and Anna becomes Queen of Arendelle. Kevin's parents were on the train that David was on that Elijah crashed. Dr. Staple turns out to be part of an organization that specializes in keeping the truth of superpowered beings hidden from the public, and as such has Kevin, David, and Elijah killed to keep it a secret, but thanks to Glass, the secret winds up getting leaked anyway. This time Gregory and Stephanie are the killers, with Lori as the target. Lori survives and Tree is sent back to her original dimension. Franz is executed by the Third Reich while his wife and daughters survive. The four girls are caught, but Destiny makes a deal and receives no jail time for her crimes, whereas the other three receive minor sentences. The friendship between Destiny and Ramona has completely fallen apart, and the film leaves it ambiguous if it can be salvaged. Frank kills Jimmy Hoffa. Him and several of his criminal allies are found guilty of various lesser charges, and one by one they begin dying off in prison. In his last years, Frank seeks absolution for his crimes, but fears it's too late for his soul. Eddie dies, it's defeated, and Ben and Beverly get together. John is betrayed by Winston and left for dead. However, he's rescued by Bowery King, who wants John's help in burning the whole system down. Rosie is killed by the Nazis. Jojo finally rejects the blind fanaticism of Nazism, and both him and Elsa survive the war. Joker kills Murray on live television, and in inspiration, one of his clown followers murders the Waynes. Jesper stays at the North Pole and marries Alva. Klaus dies but is allowed to return every Christmas Eve to continue delivering presents. Ransom is the killer, and Marta inherits everything. Lady and the Tramp get together. Tom was the organ donor of Kate's heart transplant. Every interaction she had with them was a hallucination. Winslow kills Thomas, looks into the light, goes mad, and then falls down the stairs. The last we see of him, his innards are getting pecked out by seagulls. Simba returns to the Pride Lands, defeats Scar, and takes his rightful place as king. Beth dies, and Amy and Laurie marry. Jo races after Frederick and declares her love for him, but it's left ambiguous if it's really happening or if it's a concession that Jo made for her book. Charlotte and Fred end up together, and Charlotte becomes the first female president of the United States. Maleficent is killed but is reborn as a phoenix. Queen Ingrid is defeated and cursed to be a goat. Prince Philip declares peace between the fairies and humans, and Prince Philip and Aurora get married. Nicole and Charlie both agree to relax their demands and finalize the divorce amicably. The end of the festival requires 9 human sacrifices, and the ritual goes off without a hitch. Of the Americans, Danny is the only survivor, and after choosing Christian to be the final victim of the ritual, it's implied she joins the cult, having finally found a place where she belongs. Noelle becomes the first female Santa Claus. The mayor is the thief, and Norm's team wins the hockey match. The Manson cultists decide to attack Rick Dalton's house instead of Sharon Tate's and are killed by Cliff and Rick. Moon Wong, the housekeeper, was hiding her husband Gensei inside the walls of the Park house. Chung Suk inadvertently kills Moon Wong, Gunzei kills Ki Jong, Chung Suk kills Gensei, and Ki Taek kills Dong Ik. Ki Taek hides inside the Park house after the murder, and Ki Woo fantasizes about becoming rich enough to buy the Park's house so that he can free his father. Pikachu is Tim's father. Marianne and Heloise have a romantic fling, but end things once Heloise's mother returns. Heloise gets married off, but it's clear she still wishes she could be with Marianne. Alex betrays Grace after she kills his mother. Turns out the deal with the devil is real, and everyone dies except Grace. The entire film takes place inside a computer game created by a teenage boy to deal with the trauma of his father's death, of whom Dill is based on, and his mother being abused by his new stepfather. All the foster kids are bestowed the powers of Shazam, and together they defeat Savannah. Quentin Beck is the true villain. His entire backstory is a lie, and the monsters he created were all special effects. Beck is killed, but before he dies, manages to out Peter Parker as Spider-Man in front of the whole world and frames Spider-Man for his death. Also, Nick Fury and Maria Hill were Skrulls the whole film. Leia dies. Rey is Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter, and she kills Palpatine but is killed herself in the process, only to have a reformed Ben Solo transfer his life force into her, sacrificing his own life to save hers, and the Resistance defeats the First Order. Sepala and Togo make most of the run, including the most dangerous parts, but Balto gets all the credit. Togo retires as a sled dog and spends the last years of his life siring puppies that will become Sepala Siberians. Gabby finds a home, and Woody decides to stay behind with Bo Peep. Howard's last huge gamble pays off big, but Phil, fed up with his antics, shoots him in the head anyway, kills Arno, and raids Howard's jewelry store. What happens to the money and the rest of the cast is up in the air. It's not just the Wilsons that have doppelgangers, but everyone in America. It turns out the doppelgangers were part of a failed experiment by the US government to control their counterparts, and the doppelgangers have escaped and plan to take revenge by killing their original counterpart and taking their place. Also, it turns out that the Adelaide that the audience has been following the whole film is the real clone, having taken the original's place when they were kids. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and sharing it. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.